In this video, we'll go over how to efficiently reconcile your bank statements in Xero. So when you log into Xero and you're on the dashboard, you'll notice when there's items that need to be reconciled per bank account. So here we have one account here and one here. The one that says reconcile, there's 30 items that remain unreconciled at the moment. That will show a difference here between the statement balance of the bank and what Xero has. So we click into the Reconcile Items tab. And the first thing you should note is you have account transactions. These are all your transactions that you've entered in Xero. And then you have bank statements. So these are the bank statements that hopefully you have coming in automatically into your Xero bank feed. You don't have to do them yourself. That's something you should set up, or at worst you're having to import a CSV file into here. So this will show what your Xero has, and this shows what the bank says you have. You've got these orange unreconciled when they haven't been reconciled, or green reconciled when they have. So what the idea is, we're trying to make the bank statement and the Xero transactions agree with each other, meaning that they're the same amount. So first of all, start with your Reconcile tab, and you'll notice that Xero tries to find any existing transaction in its own account and match it with what the bank says. So the left-hand side here is what the bank's saying, and these are suggested things that match in Xero. Now you want these to be reconciled this way with what the bank is saying to what you have in Xero, so that they're squared off in the account. So first of all, go through and check any of these things actually match up correctly. Sometimes the customer say they've put in their description it's for 1025, and the match here has come up for that one, and all you need to do is go OK in that case, and that is actually reconciled, that transaction. So you need to go through and find all the ones that match up and sort those first. So then you'd go through the received column and check what the payments are for. So because we know this is a customer of ours and they're mentioning an invoice number, we know that that's actually a payment and it hasn't found the right transaction here in Xero. So you're better off going into the invoice, finding that invoice 1026 and applying that payment, then it's going to match here. And we can then reconcile that payment. If for some reason it hasn't found the match, it might be because this is not the right amount for that invoice, so we'd need to sort that out, why that hasn't found its automatic match. Similarly, it's going to suggest payments to you that are invoices. Similarly, it's going to suggest payments that you make regularly, it's that you've done before, and it says this is your rent, and you can click OK if that's correct. Where you find something that you're not sure on, you can click into it and add a note. So somebody else that's helping with the account can help you out with that. So you can click and add a note there, which means you're going to discuss it with other people. You can directly create a new coding here. So like if it's Cooper Street Bakery, if they're not there, you could just add this and it's going to add it as a new contact. And then you can choose what it's for. So it's some sort of an expense. Let's say it's entertainment in this case. You can add a description, etc. And you click OK. That's now going to match up that transaction. It's gone through the bank with coding it to entertainment in our Xero account. And you click OK. That will reconcile that one. Where you know that it's a transfer between two of your bank accounts, you can create that directly. So you can say that it's transferred from one bank account to another. That's to reconcile that. And there basically you can go through. So that's going to be all the transactions that aren't reconciled in your account. You can go through them one by one if you wish from the Reconcile tab. And as you reconcile each one, this number will reduce down. And at the end, the balance in your bank and your balance in Xero should be the same amount. Now there is a bulk way of reconciling. And once you've gone through all the matches, or anything that may have already been entered in Xero should be handled first, and payments applied like invoice payments to you, they should be all handled first. Then you can go to the cash coding column and you may be able to reconcile some things in bulk. The first thing I suggest you turn on here is show lines with suggested matches. And when I click that, there's going to be a green arrow tick, and these should be handled by matching up, as I said, in this Reconcile tab. not doing it through here in cash coding. That's because it may create a duplicate transaction here. Rather than ticking off an invoice paid, it might create a new one. Now this is just like a spreadsheet option, so you can sort it by payee, for example. If you click that button, and all the payments to 7-Eleven, etc., are all going to come up. So this makes it a lot quicker to process. So, and you've got central city parking. So let's say we want to change all these quickly. We're going to say these are for parking, obviously, and then you choose the account that you want it to go to, and we're going to say that's let's call it motor vehicle expenses in this case, and then it's GST on expenses for all those. And then you can say save and reconcile selected, so you can save and reconcile all those quickly, and that's been done. So you can see that number in reconciles now down to 24. We got rid of 5 in that one go. And you can just continue through to be doing bulk reconciling to get through it quicker. Another thing that can save you time when reconciling is to set up rules. So say every time you go to 7-Eleven, it's for office expenses, for example. You can set that up as a rule. So you create a bank rule here, and you just go through all these questions, setting up that every time that comes through from 7-Eleven, for example, for this payee, that it will automatically allocate it to the right expense code, etc. Just go through, step through all those and click save, and then that will automatically align that with that bank account, with that general ledger code or chart of account code, so that it will save you time for next time. And each time that you're doing those, so we did that city parking, you can see now it's saying reconciled. So you can see all the ones that aren't reconciled still that need to be done. You've also got your ones here with the attachment of the what was paid. One last thing, when you're in the cash coding and you're doing bulk reconciling, if you have got some sort of note, you can just mouse over it, and it's got some note here that was made that we saw in the reconcile tab, that this is for an old invoice. So that's something that needs to be chased up with somebody else and to understand how it should be reconciled and handled. And once you have actually gone through all your cash coding in your reconcile tab here, it'll be down to none to reconcile. These will all be gone, and when you go back to your bank accounts on the dashboard, it won't have a button here because it'll be all reconciled, and these two amounts should agree. So that's it for reconciling your bank accounts in your Xero account.